I'm doing an awesome video today that you do not want to miss. If you always feel like eating out at restaurants ruins your progress, I've been there. You're not alone. Many people believe actually that you have to choose between going out to eat or losing fat. But the truth is that not only is that not true, it's probably going to be one of the reasons that so many people fail to lose weight and actually keep it off because they treat weight loss, they treat fitness as a temporary thing where you avoid everything to lose weight and then you go back to enjoying everything as soon as you're done losing weight. And this keeps people in a cycle of lose, gain, lose, gain, lose, gain. Today, though, I'm going to show you exactly how to eat at restaurants without blowing your fat loss goals, just like what I help my clients to do, and why you don't have to avoid your favorite places or your favorite foods just to see results. Now, stick around because at the end, though, I am going to share my restaurant cheat sheet that I made specifically for my clients, which has pre-picked macro-friendly meals from tons of popular restaurants, and I mean tons of popular restaurants. So you always know exactly what to order and stay on track. So if you are new here, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. My name is Lance, and I help professionals and entrepreneurs achieve permanent fitness transformations instead of temporary makeovers without crash diets, without torturous workout sessions, or giving up their favorite foods. Now, since 2005, which is literally 20 years, I've helped hundreds of food-loving clients just like this guy. I love food. I don't want to give it up. I've helped these clients to build very strong, lean bodies and regain confidence while actually enjoying life, which means still eating out, still traveling, and living fully without ruining their results. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through some of the problems and we're going to go through a couple of the fixes that are going to guarantee that when you go to a restaurant, number one, you're not throwing out all of your momentum. And number two, it's actually not going to slow down your progress. It's going to lead to additional progress. So if you feel like eating at restaurants always seems to set you back, you're probably running into a few of these issues. Number one might be you assume that every meal out equals weight gain, so you either avoid eating out entirely or you do what some of my clients have done in the past where you just say screw it and you go all in, and then you tell me, Lance, I didn't know what to do. They didn't have any options. What was I to do? It's a restaurant. You know, that whole thing. The second thing you might be doing is that you try to guess what's healthy, but meals are packed with hidden calories, leaving you frustrated or confused, or you get something thinking it was moderately healthy, like many of my clients have done, and then you realize as you put it into MyFitnessPal or Macros Plus or whatever you're using that you go, holy crap, this was 1,500 calories. I would have been better to just eat pizza or something to that effect. The third thing maybe going on is that you feel like you have to choose between enjoying meals out or hitting your fat loss goals. Now, what most people are currently doing is that right now, most people are either avoiding restaurants completely out of fear that they'll ruin their diet, or they're eating blindly, thinking a grilled chicken salad is always a safe bet. And the reality is that there are so many chicken salads that I mean, I've covered it on our Instagram showing that some of the most popular chicken salads at places like Chili's, Breadco, all these places, they're anywhere from 1,200 to like 1,600 calories for a chicken salad. So this is why so many people end up getting confused. The other thing that most people are doing is that they're just ordering whatever and telling themselves that they'll just burn it off later. Like, well, I couldn't help going to a restaurant. Sometimes you just got to do it. You got to live a little, right? And then later they're frustrated whenever they step on the scale or they do their measurements and they're like, dang, if it wasn't for that restaurant, I would just be better. Oh, I just can't keep it together, okay? Now, at first it seems fine, but over time, this does lead to frustration, to inconsistency, and eventually just feeling like you have to choose between your social life and your goals. This is why people can't keep off the freaking weight. Because again, to lose weight, they avoid everything in life that they want to enjoy instead of just creating more moderation through structure, okay? Now, why is this not working? Well, because restaurants make it way too easy to overeat, even on healthy meals. Here in America, most foods are significantly overportioned, okay? So many healthy meals have 1,000 plus calories without you realizing it. Portion sizes are way freaking bigger than what you'd make at home. You know that. But you get to a restaurant, you're starving, so you're like, yeah, I'll have 2 rolls while I'm waiting. Sure, I'll have this this soda, I'll wash down with another soda. And if I'll go ahead and do a salad while I'm waiting for my food. Then when my food comes in, I'm going to eat everything that I've got. And I might even take some home and eat some more later. It's overdone. Okay. Now, hidden fats, oils, and sauce packets, and extra calories that you don't track are there as well. And if you're perfect all week, but you overeat on weekends or at restaurants like this, it cancels out your progress. It's not one of these things where you can tell yourself, like, well, it's only every now and then. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be watching this video, and you probably wouldn't have felt frustrated like you've done when you've gone to restaurants. The truth is, you can eat out and still lose fat. You just have to know how. And that's what we're going to talk about here in just a second. So, the fix is there are 3 simple strategies for eating out without blowing your fat loss. I'm going to make this as simple as possible. If you want to enjoy restaurant meals without the guilt or setbacks, here's a couple things to do. Now, again, are these the only ways to do this? No, but these are the ways that I've done with my clients for at least the last 10 years, but I've done this for 20 years total, and this really does work. Number 1, you got to pick your protein first. Now, I know that many people, you'll hear fitness coaches going, make your protein count, and then they don't give you any freaking indicator of what that means. They just say, like, increase your protein. You're like, does that mean I'm not getting enough protein? Does that mean I should be, like, they don't give you an indicator. So here's what I want to tell you. Pick your protein first. Start with a protein-based meal, then build around it. Your protein is the most important. Protein is going to keep you full. It's going to help retain muscle while losing fat. It's going to make it easier to stay within calories, and your protein is what is going to help you to eat your carbs without having an insulin spike. It's going to reduce that and, let's say, mitigate it a little bit as well, okay? So some of the best protein options to start with are going to be grilled chicken by itself. Don't get some grilled chicken casserole, linguine, pasta, fettuccine, something or other. Then you're like, oh, but it was chicken. I thought I was fine. No, you're not fine. You thought chicken was good, and then you smothered it with a whole bunch of white fettuccine crap, and now it's way more calories than what you anticipated. Am I telling you can't have fettuccine and white pasta? No, but right now you've got to get down the methods. You've got to get this down as a habit. So you see that you can go to a restaurant and lose body fat or reach your goals, and then when you get this dialed in very well, you later begin to incorporate more options, okay? So grilled chicken, steak, fish, shrimp, lean pork, egg-based dishes, bunless burgers. Now, I'm not telling you got to do bunless all the time, but start with that, because otherwise you do a bun and a burger, you're already hitting a lot of carbs, and you're not going to get as full as what you want to do. So a bunless burger, a lettuce wrap, a protein bowl, high protein salads with lean meats and not just greens. What you want to avoid is fried proteins like fried chicken, battered fish, dishes covered in creamy sauces. These are calorie bombs. Now, again, I'm not telling you to avoid them indefinitely, but until you get this dialed in, you do want to avoid that. Step 2, you want to keep it simple and avoid mystery meals, okay? So the more ingredients a dish has, the harder it is to estimate those calories accurately. So you want to choose meals with simple, whole food ingredients so that you know what you're actually eating. So the best meal structure is going to be protein plus a veggie plus a starch, like, for example, steak, broccoli, and a baked potato. This means you can go to a dang restaurant, eat a steak and potato and a little bit of veggies, leave the restaurant you enjoyed with your friends, your family, your colleagues, your clients, whatever, not gaining body fat, not feeling like a blimp after you left. And it all comes down to this structure. Now, the other thing you can do is protein plus rice or potatoes with minimal added fats. And I'm going to give you how to determine minimal and all this stuff in just a second. Protein-based salads with dressing on the side. Guys, my father-in-law, years ago, now he's passed away, unfortunately, and we miss him dearly because he was always kind of the voice of reason and wisdom, and he had so much cooking knowledge, from what he went through, went to culinary school and all this, and he taught me something. This was even before I became a dang trainer, before I ever got into fitness coaching. He showed me, years ago, whenever I was reading things on Body for Life and all that, and he showed me that so many people end up overdoing their salads or other things because they add way too much dressing, trying to cover up everything. and there's a better way to do it. So what he showed me is, instead of just layering all your stuff in, you get it on the side, you put it in a bowl, you take a plate and you shake it up with a little bit of dressing, and then it's going to coat every leaf. It's going to look better, it's going to taste better, and you're probably only using a quarter of the whole serving of what they gave you, compared to letting them put it on where they slather this stuff on, and now you're eating 4 times the amount of calories is what you really need for that salad. So this works really, really well. So again, avoid anything smothered in sauces, cheeses, or butter. Avoid pasta dishes. Portions are going to be way, way, way too huge and loaded with hidden fats. You also want to avoid, as much as possible, casseroles, mixed bowls, creamy soups. There's way too many unknown factors, guys, and this is where most people mess up. They go there and they're like, well, I saw that there was chicken in it, and I just thought it would be fine. And I'm like, I get it, but you've not dialed in this practice yet, so therefore you don't realize you just had 1,300 calories when really your budget, your macro or calorie budget, only allows you for 600 to 800. You've overdone it so significantly. So I would say in the beginning, don't try and do the casseroles and all that. Now, do I do them right now? You bet. But a lot of the casseroles that I love the most, we cook at home, because then I can use protein noodles. I can use leaner meats. I can look around for the best sauces, because there's a lot of sauces that are reduced fat, reduced calories, better sugar content, all the things that restaurants give no craps about, okay? So this is step 2, keep it simple and avoid mystery meals. Step 3 is you got to master the one plate rule, okay? Restaurants serve way more food than you actually need. You go to Texas Roadhouse, Longhorn Steakhouse, any of these, they're going to bring you out, very first thing, bread. And you're probably going to get all of your carb portions, there we go, I had to enunciate, your carbohydrate portions in just the appetizer bread alone. Then you get salad with croutons and oils, and then you get more carbohydrates. And that's if you don't ask for more bread. And there's a reason they serve you bread while it takes them 30 minutes to bring out your dish. So you get filled up on the cheap foods. Don't do this, okay? Instead of eating everything, follow the one plate rule to keep portions in check, all right? How do you do that? Well, you want to fill half your plate with protein and veggies, just like what I described. Use a quarter of the plate for your carbs, and then use the last quarter for fats like butter, dressings, cheese, etc. Doesn't mean that we take up a full quarter of the plate, but this is kind of a rule of like how your portion should be, or how your plate should be portioned out. Stop when you're satisfied, not stuffed. Now, again, I'm preaching to myself on this, because growing up, we didn't really get taught that, hey, you're full, that's it. It was basically like, well, if I finish my plate, then I can have dessert, or I can have seconds. And if the food was tasty enough, you want seconds. But the reality is that here in America, foods that are highly tasty are usually going to be higher in calories, which means that number one, they're going to fill you up more. They're going to fill you up more with calories, but you may not feel full quicker, or as quick as what you would if it was less calorie dense. And if it's highly tasty, even if you're full, your brain isn't getting the signal that you're full yet. So if you eat quickly enough, you're going to be able to keep eating, even though your brain has not gotten the signal that you're actually not hungry anymore. So once you've kind of eaten, which again, take your time. Don't wolf things down. Take your time and eat it. Savor your bites. I know people have said that for years. I used to hate it, but slow down. Just slow down. Put your phone away. Talk. Enjoy the atmosphere. Look around and keep yourself entertained without food. All right. I know it's not easy, but work on that. And I promise you're going to get a lot more out of what you're doing when you're going to restaurants. Now, if the meal is huge, ask for a to-go box before you start eating. Tell you a little quick story. This would have been back in maybe 2006 or 7, somewhere around there. I worked with a client where there was a trip to Jamaica. It was a contest, and I wanted to help this client win. She was one that I got paired with to help out. Her name was Susan. She did amazing, by the way. We got second place, missing out on that Jamaica trip only by, it was like 0.4% of body fat, or weight. I think they took weight instead of body fat. And so she barely missed out. She lost more overall pounds, but somebody else lost about 0.4 or 0.5% more pounds total pounds compared to her, so they won. Now, that's my preface, but the point is, the very first things that they did, so they served them 3 meals. Everybody had to eat the same thing for the contest, etc. Very first thing that I had her do to make sure that she wasn't overeating and she wasn't sitting around feeling famished all the time is as soon as she would get her meal, because they were a little bit big, I'd have her cut it in half, and this would be eaten 90 minutes, 2 hours later. Now, again, the trick is not eating every 2 to 3 hours. I'll demystify that later. But her point that I made her do was specifically, if you go to a restaurant, if you go somewhere and you're getting served something, if you know good and well that that's most likely overserved, meaning gets more portions than you need, and if you're going to a restaurant, this is going to be the case, immediately split your food in half. Take some later. You will be so glad that you got it later because it's good food. Don't make yourself eat it all at once unless it is very portioned out, like I've described, where you're doing straight chicken, broccoli, potato. Then it's fine. Eat everything. But most places, you do want to cut it in half and eat some of it later, okay? Now, pack up immediately, or pack up half of that immediately. Ask them to bring a to-go box as soon as you get there once the food arrives, so you can take it, portion out, and you've got your food for later, so you don't accidentally overeat it, like I've done many, many freaking times. All right. Now, bonus tip is that we want to plan smart for social events. So if you know that you're going out later, plan ahead so you don't stress about your choices. There's 3 simple ways to plan ahead. Number 1, you eat lighter earlier in the day. This does not mean starve yourself. Keep meals high in protein and veggies so you have more flexibility, meaning you have more fats and more carbs for dinner. Second thing is, look up the menu before you go. Do not get there and haphazardly go, well, I didn't know, and then now this is what I had to eat. Nope, you didn't prepare. Pick a meal in advance so you don't get overwhelmed and order something random like most people do. Third thing is, use a protein shake before you go out. If you don't know what's going to be at this restaurant and you're going out and you know you're going to be hungry, one of my favorite things that I do this if I have a frozen pizza, if I go to a restaurant, if I go to a New Year's party and I don't know what's going to be served, or a Christmas party, I'm going to do a protein shake on the way. So that way, at least, I knock out my proteins, I'm going to feel less ravenous, and it's going to mitigate some of the insulin spiking that I might get from some of the food choices. Guys, these are simple things, but they work so well. So well. This curbs your hunger. It keeps you from over ordering or eating mindlessly. Now, again, the goal is not perfection. Please understand that. It's making smarter choices with structure that keep you moving forward, okay? Now, this all works because instead of treating restaurant meals as cheat meals where you throw caution to the wind or something to fear, instead you're making them fit your goals while still enjoying them with a little bit of structure. And this is proven stuff that I've done for 20 years. It works, all right? You focus on whole foods first, avoiding hidden calorie traps. You control portions without having to track every single bite while you're there. You stop seeing restaurants as reasons to start over on Monday or throw caution to the wind. This is exactly how my clients eat out regularly and still lose fat, all right? Without food guilt or missing out on life, all right? Now, if you want to make eating out even more effortless while staying on track, I got something for you that you're absolutely going to want to take advantage of. Comment the word cheat sheet or restaurant in the comments, and I will send you my restaurant cheat sheet guide, which has pre-picked macro-friendly meals from tons of popular restaurants. It's just a list of these things, shows you what to get, your protein, your calories, fiber, carbs, everything that you need. I'm talking Wendy's, Texas Roadhouse, Taco Bell. I'm trying to think of some of the more upper echelons, but right now only fast food's coming to mind, but there's a lot of them on there. Tons of more than enough to give you a good start to know which restaurants you can choose. And guys, this makes such a big freaking difference, okay? It's going to help you to know what to do to stay on track. What you're going to get is macro-friendly meal options for restaurants like Chipotle. There we go. Chick-fil-A, there's another one. Olive Garden was another one. Not one of my favorite places, but a lot of people love it. You're going to get your pre-calculated calories and macros so you don't have to guess, and a simple strategy for eating out without blowing your progress. So again, drop either the comment restaurant or cheat sheet, and I will send it to you. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you feel like this was valuable, if there was anything that resonated with you and you feel like other people can benefit from this, do me a favor and please share this, whether it's on your Facebook page or you send it via email, whatever. Send it to somebody that you know has been trying to lose weight and they always regain it. Or, obviously, if they've not mentioned that to you, don't send something to somebody who's never mentioned they're trying to lose weight. Otherwise, they're going to go, what are you trying to imply? Don't do that. You'll get us all in trouble. But if you know people that are friends, family, colleagues, coworkers, whatever, send this to them. And if you feel like this was valuable at all, please smash that like button below and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, guys, so much. I love doing these. I really love the questions I'm getting from you guys. Some of the comments of people telling me that this stuff is helping. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one.